Welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into exactly how modern brands capture our attention, hold on to it, and ultimately earn our loyalty in an incredibly crowded, noisy digital landscape. It's this fascinating intersection where technology, data, and pure human psychology all collide.
So, let's kick things off by asking a pretty fundamental question. Think about the last time you bought something online. When you finally hit that buy button, what were you actually paying for? I mean, were you just buying a physical item, or were you buying a feeling, a solution, or maybe even a tiny piece of an identity? Keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We're going to cover the digital marketing shift, data-driven decisions, the empowered digital customer, building user personas, and we'll wrap it all up with the psychology of motivation.
All right, part one, the digital marketing shift, going from broadcasters to conversations. Okay, before we even touch the digital part of this, we need to ground ourselves in what marketing actually is. As Philip Kotler so famously put it, marketing is essentially the creation and satisfaction of demand. At its core, you're just identifying an unfulfilled need, creating a demand for a product that fills it, and then satisfying that demand at a profit. Simple enough, right?
Well, the goal is simple, but how we pull that off has completely transformed. We're way past the old Mad Men days of traditional marketing, where brands just spoke at captive TV audiences with these unskippable ads in a total one-way broadcast. Now we are fully immersed in the era of digital marketing. Today's consumers are incredibly empowered, and they demand tailored, highly personalized experiences. It's not a monologue anymore. It's a two-way conversation, and frankly, the customer is the one holding most of the cards.
To really wrap your head around the sheer scale of this shift, just look at global digital adoption. Almost 60% of the world's population is connected right now. That is nearly 4.7 billion people researching, chatting, and shopping on the web. Oh, and more than half the entire world is active on social media. So yes, brands have this unprecedented global reach, but it also means they have to be infinitely smarter about how they actually connect with us.
Moving right along to Section 2. Data-driven decisions and the tools making them happen.
One of the biggest game changers in this space is what we call the Internet of Me. And this goes way, way beyond just browsing websites on your laptop. We're talking about self-tracking smartphone apps and wearable tech that monitor literally everything, from our sleep patterns to our daily heart rates. All this gives marketers real-time, hyper-personal data. So instead of just guessing what we might want, brands use this data to make incredibly precise, prescriptive decisions about exactly how and when to reach us.
There's actually a fascinating case study about this data-driven strategy from Sprint, back before their merger with T-Mobile. Their executives wanted to figure out exactly how their digital ad spend was impacting overall revenue, and not just their online sales, but their physical stores too. So they set up an experiment with Google Ads to strictly isolate the impact of paid search.
And the results were totally wild. Increasing their digital spend led to a 20% bump in digital sales, which, sure, was expected. But it also drove a massive, completely unexpected 32% increase in physical in-store sales. This absolutely proved the power of an omni-channel approach. You literally can't separate the digital world from the physical one anymore. A customer might see an ad while scrolling on the couch, but they'll walk right into a brick-and-mortar store to actually hand over their cash. Which brings us to Section 3, the empowered digital customer and how they navigate the attention economy. Look, we are living in the attention economy. Because we're constantly bombarded with emails, push notifications, and endless streams of content, our attention has become this fiercely guarded, scarce commodity. It is a strictly limited resource. If a brand isn't immediately relevant to us, boom, we swipe away or click off in a fraction of a second. Brands aren't just competing with their direct rivals anymore. They are literally competing against everything else on your screen for a slice of your time.
So to actually capture that scarce attention, smart brands don't just blast out generic messages. They focus on digital tribes. A tribe is a niche online community formed around shared passions, beliefs, or interests, completely ignoring physical geography. You've got tribes of conscious parents, vintage watch collectors, extreme sports junkies, you name it. Brands that succeed here don't just sell products, they feed the passions of the tribe.
And digital media gives these tribes incredible leverage. It gives us instant access to a vast ocean of information, global connection with people just like us, a real sense of community, and of course, ultimate convenience. These are the core affordances of digital tech. If a brand wants our attention today, they have to deliver on at least one of these values in return. No exceptions.
All right, Section 4, Building User Personas. Let's zoom in on the individual. Take a look at this. This brilliantly illustrates the concept of a user persona. Brands build these fictional profiles. Let's call her Summer Daniels. Notice how her profile goes way deeper than just her age and zip code? It blends physical demographics with her inner psychographics, her values, how tech-savvy she is, her need for social belonging. By creating a fully fleshed-out persona, marketers can target real human motivations and pain points, rather than just relying on lazy, broad stereotypes.
And paired with that, another powerful tool they use is a DILO, a day in the life of the customer. By mapping out a customer's actual daily routine, brands can pinpoint the exact moments, those specific triggers and daily stress points where their product can swoop in and solve a problem. For example, if your target persona commutes early in the morning, well, that is exactly when you should hit them with a mobile-friendly ad that solves a morning headache.
Finally, Section 5, the psychology of motivation. Let's look at why we actually buy.
When you strip it all back, human behavior is basically driven by two types of motivators, extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic motivators are external rewards or pressures, stuff like limited-time discounts, scarcity, or loyalty points. They get you to act and act fast. Intrinsic motivators, though, those are internal and deeply intangible. We're talking about the desire for love, self-expression, achievement, or even avoiding fear and shame. Intrinsic motivation is a lot harder to measure, but man, it creates the kind of brand loyalty that lasts a lifetime.
If you want to see a masterclass in applying extrinsic motivators, just look at Booking.com. See that glaring red text warning you that there are only 3 rooms left, or that 2 people are looking at this hotel right now? They are leaning so hard into scarcity and urgency. It's a gentle but very firm external nudge telling the customer to stop browsing and lock in that room right now before someone else snatches it. But the absolute core of all this is perfectly summed up by an old marketing adage. People don't buy products, they buy what the product can do for them. Think about it. Nobody goes out and buys a hammer just for the sheer thrill of owning a heavy piece of wood and metal. They buy the ability to fix a broken shelf, or they buy that feeling of being capable and handy around their own house. The product itself is literally just a vehicle for the outcome.
And you see this clearest with luxury goods. A multi-$1,000 Tag Heuer watch? Honestly, it doesn't tell time any better than a $20 Casio. But marketing at that level isn't about utility. It's pure intrinsic motivation. It's about broadcasting to the world that you value innovation, precision, and status. At the end of the day, marketing is really about showing potential customers how your offering can make them feel awesome, successful, and just better about themselves.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to chew on. The next time you're scrolling on your phone, navigating through your digital tribes, and you finally hit that buy button, just take a beat. Ask yourself, was it the brand's incredibly precise data targeting that found you at the exact right second, or was it your own deep intrinsic psychology that really closed the deal? Thanks for watching, and keep asking those big questions.